like that, you know. And this song, the words are, I want to, grandfather, I thank you for this day. On this day, I thank you. And the last part is, I want to walk on this earth in a good way. Of course, we came from a warrior society, the Lakota people, you know, back in the day. But our warfare was different, much different than the U.S., which was, their policy was total extermination. The warfare that the Lakota people did with other tribes was basically hand-to-hand combat, and it was more like touching the enemy rather than to kill them. Of course, there was casualties on both sides from time to time, but it was kind of like something more like a really rough sport, like that, you know. And so when the U.S. began to use the shock tactics, of course, that was the tactics they used to demoralize the people like that. This is the result of one of those, you know. So the song goes like this. My grandfather told me, he said, each and every one of us has a spirit, and that spirit is called Nahi. The Christian world calls it a soul. But this Nahi has to be fed spiritual food. In the meaning of song, prayer, meditation, good thought. That's how you feed this Nahi. And so I'm going to ask you, for those of you that pray, I'm going to ask you to join me in this prayer and pray not only for the spirits of these relatives here lying in this final resting place, to pray that it doesn't happen again. It doesn't happen again. And it is happening in your world as far as mine. You know, people coming into grade schools and using automatic weapons and killing children. You know, that's still happening. Not only here in America, but all over the world. The schools coming in killing unarmed people. So let's pray that that we maybe someday we can, as a nation of people, come together and you know, find some way to deal with that. Let's find some way to deal with that. You know, we're in the 21st century, and things that are like that are still happening. You know, and so, you know, I'll ask you to help me in that prayer. Hey, oh, hey, hi, hi, hey, hi, oh, hey, hi, hi. Hey, hi, oh, hey, hi, 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 oh, hey, hello, hey, oh, hey, hi, hey, oh, hey, hi, hi, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hello, hey, oh, hey, hi. What could conquer? Oh, shemala, yo, yo. On pe tu kile, on shi malayo, we ya hey I, we ya hey I, hi hi yo hey ya hey yo ho elo, we ya hey yo, hey yo hey hi I, hey hi yo hey hi I, hey hi yo hey hi I. Hi, yo, hey, hello, way, yo, hey, I, way, yo, hey, I, hi, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hello, way, yo, hey, I. What could conquer? Oh, shemala, yo, yo, petu kile. On Malayo, hey, yo, hey, I. Makatayan, Akabawoni, Wachiwan, Uelo, hey, yo, hey, yo. Right here on this corner, right here, you'll see the grave marker. And on this grave marker here, her name was Losberg. And she was one of the survivors of the original 1890 Wounded Knee. And she was saved or rescued by one of the officers of that of the Wounded Knee 1890 massacre, and she was just a baby then, and she survived. You know, of course, according to the stories and legends, the man that adopted her was very abusive to her, and she had a hard time in her life. So they reburied her here. Wherever she was buried, they brought her back and buried her here. And her name was Losbert. So you can see 1890 is when she was born. So she was just barely, not even a year old. And she died in 1919. And so that's the history of here. Some of this is still an active cemetery. You can see there was one warrior that lost his life here during the 1973 Wounded Knee occupation. And his name was Buddy Lamont. And Claremont too also. But they're buried here, right here, like that. And so this here is the Wounded Knee. Like I said, it's still a working gravesite. So people still actually are buried here like that. Relatives, you'll see something. You have a question?
Y'all buried memories or y'all buried bodies?
Excuse me?
I heard y'all buried memories instead of bodies.
Burying memories?
Yeah, like memories of certain people, like instead of bodies.
Here?
Yeah, here or something.
Yeah, there's actually remains in here, bodies. Yeah, actual bodies. Right here, somebody inscribed a little something right here. A little bit of the history. Probably some